time. All right, next up we're going to hear from Teresa Pizzarello. And I would remind everybody here that we have an agenda item. It's the bill that we're talking about. So I really would request that all the presenters stick to the bill. Give us your input on the bill. That's what we're here for, to hear your testimony on the bill. If there's other issues that you have, each of you has a member in the House and a member in the Senate, and you can reach out to them about specific issues that are not related to the bill and cover it that way. So please testify on the bill, ma'am, and you're recognized to do that.
My name is Teresa Pizzarello, and I'm a native Floridian. Raised in South Florida my whole life. My father came here with $5 in his pocket and self-made man. My father was a big planner, okay? He planned everything. He even made me choose his caskets when I was in my 20s to see where they were going to be buried and what they were going to be buried. Planned every aspect of his life. He planned for his life to be taken care of when he was older. He had advance directives in place, and in South Florida, advance directives do not matter whatsoever. This is a very severe problem in South Florida. It's also happening rapidly in Sarasota County. My parents live in South Florida, and that's why we're dealing with this nightmare. It's been a nightmare for my family, for my children, for my parents. My parents are still alive. They're locked up in their home. They've been locked up in their home for 2 years. And I have not been able to see my parents illegally stifled and kept from my family. Why? Because I have witnessed my father's abuse. When I last saw my father, this is what they allowed my father to do to himself. They allowed my father to self-mutilate himself with tweezers, and they put him in a window so he could have special lighting to do this task. And they gave him tweezers with a mirror and a chair and a table so he can have the time to do it all day long, see? And the court-appointed attorney was very aware of this. The court-appointed attorney was told in many instances, many letters, many times, and they ignored it. Also, the judge was presented this particular picture right in her face. And the judge looked at this picture, and her exact words were, "I don't know what I am looking at." So I proceeded to explain to the judge. So maybe she was confused. I was going to give her that. She wasn't confused at all. I explained in detail what was taking place, and her exact words were, "Calm down, sit down, let's move on." She didn't ask me, "Mrs. Pizzarello, how did this take place?" She didn't ask me, "When did you see this? What did you do about it?" She never asked me not one word about my father. Not one word. That's a crime. Her job in that courtroom is to look out for my father. Look out for every citizen that walks in that courtroom. She has turned her head, along with all the other judges in Miami, along with families that we've brought here, because this has happened over and over and over again. Not just one time. See, so you can't ignore this. All of you here sitting here have a responsibility, a moral responsibility, and a legal responsibility to take hold of the problem in Miami-Dade County, to realize how rapid the fire is really burning. It is a fire that everyone is letting burn rapidly and ignoring, turning their head and letting the fire burn. Our whole state is being affected by this. But Miami-Dade County has gotten grossly about it, okay? They laugh in court. They call my witnesses and cancel them. My own attorneys throw me under the bus. They quit the night before, all 8 of them. Yes, I've had 8 attorneys. Thousands and thousands of dollars have been spent on this. And I know people have spent even more than I have. And that's why we're here today. Because my father had advance directives in place. They were ignored. 2 people came into his life and lied. The judge knew there was other siblings. She never allowed the other siblings to be there. Everything about this case was based on a lie. Anyone in this room, this can happen to, including you, and you, and you. Because anybody, including your neighbor, can turn around and make a lie about you, get you in front of a judge, and if you have any assets or have any value to you at all, this state, I believe, wants you. Now, you prove me different if I'm wrong. Do something about what's happening in South Florida. Take hold of the matter. We need real court in South Florida, not mock-up court. We go in a little room. I've actually been asked to make negotiations against my father's state and what his demands were. I decided no. I was going to honor my parents' wishes.
Okay.
I was going to spend every dime it took. I was going to let the freight train, as the attorneys say in Miami, run me over gladly.
Man.
First of all, I want to know what this panel is going to do about South Florida. I want to know what you're going to do about this abuse that's taken place, about the judges that are ignoring. Because my father's still alive. I could have a chance to save him. Other parents have actually died over this matter. So before my father dies and other parents die, because there are people here that have abused parents that DCF has ignored, the judges have ignored, the court-appointed attorneys have ignored. And I want this panel to be aware you've been notified. You have been notified because people need to know what's happening. And the state of Florida should no longer be a vacation home.
Okay,
a beautiful sunshine state. What the state of Florida needs to be represented as is if you come here to live and you come here to buy, this will happen to you. And my father's picture will be next to the state of Florida's image.
And do I understand it?
That person should be the guardian. And if it's adjudicated, then no. I believe that whoever the parent chooses is who should stay.
Okay, thank you for your testimony, ma'am. Next up is Laura Cantwell.